Hey everyone, Vortex TCG here, and today I'm back with a brand new gameplay video showcasing the second match of my Imperialdramon Sealed Only deck. And if you are interested in Sealed Only, I strongly recommend that you check out the first episode of Sealed Only. I'll be leaving a link in the description and a card in the top right. The support is greatly appreciated. So, let's get into the gameplay itself. This is the second match, and I'm playing against an Agubond type list. My opponent is playing a very interesting list. He's playing, obviously, the rookie part of it, but he's also playing a high-end package going into the War Greymon, which has Blitz. So, a very interesting deck here. Obviously, safe to say that this is a more casual build of Agubond, but seems to work well out for him. So he swings into Security with the Metal Grey, hits into a Betamon, and then he just plays an Agumon to pass turn. I then go into the Imperialdramon, swing, and then unsuspend, draw a card, and this Stingmon is so good. Like, if there's one thing that I really liked from the starting episode especially, is the fact that Imperialdramon feels like such a game-winning card. The fact that you get to unsuspend twice and also potentially draw additional two cards, is very strong. So I'm very, very happy that this card was included in the star decks. But I'm going to go into Stingmon here to pass the turn, and he is going to hatch an egg. Jeez, words. And he's just got to consider what he needs to do now, because I think at this point he's in a bit of a rough situation. Essentially, he has to build up a board just to get ready for the following turn, but I'm not 100% sure if he would be able to, answer the board as is. So he's got two Memory to play with. Obviously, all the rookies tend to be free cost to play. He goes into a Greymon here, and then he goes into the Metal Grey. And I was kind of surprised that he went into the Metal Grey, especially as it's kind of like a vanilla at the moment. Obviously, it does deal with the Stingmon when it does attack, but I think I'm able to get a lot more advantage before he can even do that, really. And so I swing into Security, drawing a card and unsuspending, and hits an Agumon. Swing again, and this time it hits another Agumon, get an additional draw. I swing the Stingmon in. The reason why I do this is because it was going to die from the effect anyways, so feel like I might as well, avoid it being deleted by an effect. And so it just happened here. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I will say that, the deck itself has been working out very well for me, especially at this locals. I will say, obviously, my locals a lot more casual than a lot of everyone else's. Only have like a small player base in Bedford, so I go into the Dino Beamon in the raising and pass him to free. And, he can deal with the Imperialdramon, I believe, here. I think he has enough DP gain. But he goes into the War Greymon here to pass the turn, goes into Blitz and swings into the Imperialdramon. It dies. It has piercing as well, so it does a security check. 2 security checks, and I add the Spiral Masquerade, I think that's what it's called, to my hand, and then I push up the Dino Beamon. So I don't have to exactly answer the War Greymon here because it doesn't really do much from this point onwards. So I swing into Security with the Dino Beamon. And what I end up doing here is just ending the turn by, I believe, going into the Megadeth to get rid of the War Grey. So essentially he needs to hard play something to get rid of it, and he does. He plays the Gaia Force here. So definitely stops me from winning this turn, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to safely push up a stack here and pass in the turn there. So I'm going to the Sneemon, and then I'm just going to hard play the XVmon. So just in case there's like a blocker that he plays, because he does play blockers in this deck, you know, I just have that extra attack if I need it, essentially. He plays another Gaia Force, and then I just push up and swing for game. Okay, and we get into the second game here. My opponent's going to start off with an EX1 Agumon, and then he's going to play the Tai and Kari Dual Tamer. And I think this is a very interesting choice in this deck. I think it works well because, surprisingly, like, maybe not the minus security effect, but you tend to go pretty low in regards to security, as one of your main mechanics is to trash 2 security to go into the Bond of Bravery. So ends up working out pretty well, I think, in this deck. And you're usually playing aggressor, so you tend to get the 1 memory from your opponent as well. So I think it's actually a pretty cool take for the Agubond deck. And as you can see, the Agumon swung and it survived. So I then use the Masquerade to give Vmon plus 2k and then piercing. So it does die, but that's fine. We clear a body and also get a swing. And then I just promote the Dino Beamon here. So he goes into another Agumon now, and a little bit worried because, you know, the last game he didn't get all the security that he wanted. Not security, all the rookies that he wanted, but now it seems like he's getting a pretty good start here. So he goes to the Tai in as its Tamer, so I'm not too sure if he should have gone to the Greymon then. Maybe he just didn't have the bond. So could be, you know, we'll see how it plays out essentially. But I go into the Jesus, the Imperialdramon here to play out the Stingmon and the Betamon to pass him on. And he pushes up the Greymon, and Tai still triggers off Greymon, so works out pretty well. I mean, I think the Tai and like mat cards are really unique. The problem is though is that I just don't think they ever really found their footing, because like it costs 3 to play, and also at this point you'd rather play Cool Boy in those decks than, you know, play, I guess, Agubond in general. So I tried making it work, but it never really worked, the combination. So he swings into security, it's in dragon mode, so he reveals top 3, doesn't get anything there. And now I think he's in a bit of a rough position because I'm not too sure what else he can do for the following turn. I have, you know, I pretty much have lethal on the following turn, so he's got to find something that, you know, doesn't answer essentially. And so I use DNA Dish Evolution to go into the Paildramon here for free. I then bounce the blocker to the bottom of the deck, so I should have game here, but I do hit into the Bond, so unfortunately the Paildramon does die here, so it does slow down my aggression. Swing with the Imperialdramon, then swing with the Betamon, and obviously the Betamon dies there. And then what I do here is I go into the Paladin mode, pass to 5, and then return 1 guy to bounce the rest of them, so he doesn't have any aggression on his turn. So if he does end up getting the, you know, the Agubond going, he can't. So feel very good in this position. He has to, you know, if he wants to stay alive, he obviously plays the Gaia Force. Maybe he plays Gaia, but I don't think he has it. Otherwise, I think he would have played it by now. And he goes into the Caudramon, so a blocker. But unfortunately, I do have the Paladin mode, and I have another source underneath, so I swing, use its effect to return this to the bottom of the deck, and then continue the swing for game.